Fun fact number 27. You made it. If you started with me at the beginning, this is the last chapter of Children of Light. Like I said, you can buy it. You can put Children of Light in and put my name and find it. Let's see. If you want to know how the rest of the story goes, you can buy Children of Water, which is a more earthbound, grounded, questing version. And then after you read that one, you can purchase the much smaller and much less expensive Children of the Beyond. And that one, even though it's a smaller book, if you haven't read the first two, it's going to be a problem for you to understand what's going on. And it won't connect as well with you. But it's actually, even though it's a smaller book, I condense a lot of the ideas and describe things that words have a hard time describing. So, and there's also in Children of the Beyond, there's some decoding you have to do at the end of the book in order to find out what comes next, which I haven't written and which isn't going to be written. So here's the last chapter, Children of Light. I believe it is. It should be. Chapter 21. And it's not very long, so hang in there. And it's called The Day of the Sun. Let me get the glasses on. My Bellas, who have stayed with me this long. Children of Light. The Day of the Sun. Jump higher, Daddy, higher. Did you get it, Alexis? Yes, Daddy, yes. It was the first kite ever made on SETI. Alexis was 5. SETI cycles today. The new toy was wonderful. None of the other children had anything like it. She was so proud. She stood on her father's shoulders in her human form, grabbing the kite stuck in a titan. Gunther, would you like to fly my kite? Alexis wanted to share her joy with everyone. Gunther was a year younger than Alexis. He ran up to her. Yes, yes, oh yes, I would. Say thank you, Gunther's father said. Oh yes, thank you, Alexis. Gunther was taller than Alexis. He had very dark skin and thick black hair to his waist. Come with me, Quark. Quark was the same age as Gunther. He was short but fast. His skin was a unique shade of auburn, and he had golden hair and brown eyes. Callie, Callie! Cried Alexis. She ran up to a small baby crawling on a blanket and hugged her. Newly sat on the blanket by the baby, and she watched Trevor run with the children. Hobarth sat on the grass beside her. He was making another kite. Ryan was joining them later. She was in a Setian council meeting. Tox and Tyler were at the meeting along with other Setians. Tyler had suffered much in the water the day she tried to destroy Hobarth. Her recovery was slow and painful. She would never be allowed to become flame again. But it didn't matter to her anymore. Tox had helped her heal and loved her through all her struggles with emotions, shame, and her deformities. She had learned a lot about what was true when she fell in the water so long ago. She had become one of the best gnomons for helping others acclimate to the new Setian ways and to create compromises for those who did not wish to fully change. She wished it had not taken so much pain for her to understand and see fully. Andrea and Sips were walking in the open field and talking. Andrea was expecting her second child. Quark was her first. Vladimir and Pace and Aura were running after Gunther, their child. Pace would not have children in any form, but Aura was nothing but a child herself. They all took part in the parenting. Callie was Trevor and Newly's child. She was a redhead with bright green eyes like her mother, but she had the dark skin coloring like her father. "Daddy?" said Alexis. Yes, Lexi," Hobarth responded. "Will Mommy be here soon?" Mommy has business to perform. She'll be here. Uncle Toss and Auntie Tyler are coming with her." Ariel and Repsjaz had no children. They chose not to have children the earthling way. They chose to remain true to the starring way of creating new life during the Comet Festival. They seemed to remain ever young. They ran with the children and flew with the kites as light. Some Starians and Gnomons chose to keep their true forms, transforming only when meeting each other, otherwise death would occur. These Setians lived the old lifestyle. Starians, who for the most part remained light, returned to their natural dwellings, the ice caves near Mount Neutrino. The Gnomons who remained fire resided in the ice tunnels of the southern region. Many of the Setians chose to remain transformed in human form as their main metamorphosis. Some lived across the desert near the great hall of the Gnomons. This area was known as Newtown. Some resided in the forest-like village built around the marble hall of the Ancient Ones. This area was known as Old Town. There was another town created for the transformed. It was called Bright. Celebrations were common. No one seemed against the new way of things. There were many new sensations and many things to be learned by both sides. Ryan remained in human form, but also transformed into light often. Some of her people preferred her that way, and as a servant to her people, she had to be many things to many creatures, no matter what form they chose. "Daddy," Alexis said as she turned to light. "Daddy, why can I turn to light but you cannot?" At times like this, Hobarth responded the only way he felt he could. "Ask your mother, dear." Hobarth saw Ryan in the distance. Every time he saw her, he felt as if it was the first time, and he was falling in love all over again. Everything seemed to move in slow motion every time she appeared. She had a wonderfully brilliant smile on her face as she approached her child and husband. The meetings must have gone well with the council, Hobarth thought. "Run and play," said Ryan to Alexis, who followed her mother's suggestion without qualms. Hobarth, we must return to town immediately," said Ryan. "But it's your daughter's birthday," Hobarth interrupted himself, as he often did now. "Oh, a message from Zeus?" "A message from Earth," said Ryan. Hobarth grabbed her hand, and he looked longingly into her eyes. They held hands and walked slowly, all the way back to Old Town. Vladimir, Trevor, Newly, and Andrea followed behind them, for Ryan had told them first. The others stayed behind and watched the children, but Alexis had snuck off in light form and followed the group from above. The sun was shining. A Samaj flew close with Alexis. The flying creature spoke to her, but she could not understand, but she had a strange feeling about what it said. "Someday," the Samaj said, "you will find and give the greatest gift of all. You will see many wonderful worlds. You will see beyond time. You are the child of the children of light. I love you." The bird remained with her throughout her journey. When Alexis and the Samaj arrived at Seti Hall, they rested on one of the high arched openings. Within the chamber below her, all the earth beings and Ryan stood on the other side of a shiny box with knobs, buttons, and flashing lights on it. Hamlet was still aboard the Zeus. The other robots had not yet returned to Zeus, but were planning to return with pods on the shuttle to check out on the craft and Hamlet. They also thought that many useful items had been left on Zeus, and that the orbit of Zeus should be adjusted so it would not decay to the point of crashing into the planet. The pod and shuttle had been made ready. The team was going to return in 1 week's time. No communication had come from Zeus for many months, but no message had ever been received from Earth. A message from Earth, announced Hamlet over the speakers. When did it arrive? Newly asked. Now, said Hamlet. Patch it through, said Hobarth. Through the speakers came a voice too familiar, soft and low. The deep-toned voice filled the air like the wind. All the Earth beings recognized the voice at once. Greetings. If plans went correctly, you are now among a very strange people and learning different ways of being. I know this will not reach you for many years, but I want you to know that all is as it should be. Perhaps this is the longest you have heard me speak. I shall try to keep my words brief, but there are things you should know. I would like to share with you a poem I wrote in my retirement. I hope you find some warmth in my words. The poem is called Children of Light. I'm not going to keep that voice up, so here we go. I'm just going to read it. Golden wings unfurl in the evening of the sun. Whispers capture the thoughts of feelings that float on the breeze. Seeing is not always knowing. Knowing is not always enough. Feeling is living. Life is ever changing. Believing in hearts open to the wind. Tunes sung in lines, creating circles. There are no borders to the soul, no boundary between night and day. Everything is continuous. A spark of life dwindles soon. That magic of dancing lights during a full moon never is extinguished in the mind's memory. The truth of life is more than death or eternity. No. Revelations are always changing route. Nothing is a constant truth. The great mountain cuts through the sky. The sun slowly descends on the other side. Layers of pink and blue and orange, softly hazing, slowly becoming white, then darkness. Do the colors of the setting sun separate themselves? Distinguish themselves from one another. They blend into one light before disappearing forever. Shallow light floats on the tide and captures the moon on its nightly ride over the ocean, while luminous shadows float gently across the horizon, carrying softness away. The sun counts for none its sorrows. The wind counts for none its rain. I will be here tomorrow. shadows and light will come again. Stars suspended in the heavens by nothing but love. These are the children of light. As a running tree finished his poem, the listeners were silent. Then he said something very strange, for how could he know? The message had to have been sent ages ago. But then again, Running Tree was mysterious. But he said shocked the listeners gathered around the communication device. Alexis, it is the day of the sun. That was the end of the message, which no one quite comprehended. But it was an adventure, after all. Please read some more from the book, Terrain, the children begged. Please let us hear the voices of the past some more, the children pleaded. Another time, I will, children of light. Another time I will read you the story of the children of water, and you will hear more voices and see more images. But today is the day of the sun. You must play. That is the end, except for the glossary. That is the end of Children of Light. So, I hope you enjoyed my sporadic reading of that. And I hope you buy it or buy the other books and help me pay for rent and utilities and credit card and groceries. And maybe buy some of my other books. But if you enjoyed any of the chapters of Children of Light, buy the book. You can download an ebook, which is like maybe $3, and I get 50 cents. If you buy the hard copy off of lulu.com, I think it might be I think I searched myself and it said 23. But I only get $1 of that. And then Children of Water, I think it's another. The electronic books are very minimal, under $5, most of them. I believe they're all under $5, and I get 50 cents to $1 off of those. And I get 50 cents to $1 off of the print. It's the same. I don't make a lot of profit on the books. But I'd love if you read some more of my books. And if you haven't listened to the readings of Children of Light, go back. Start with chapter 1. And I think you can find each one back in time. I'm not going to be reading any more of Children of the novels. That's the only novel I'm reading. I do have some short stories I put out there that I've read over photo slideshows or movies that I've created. And I've read some poems, and I've sung, and I've played my flute. But I always recommend my short story books first, and I'm working on another one. But I think the poetry book will come out first. And I hope you enjoyed that. And it's over. I'm so sorry. Last chapter of Children of Light. Children of Light. Last chapter. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you're having a beautiful day. And if you're a writer, just keep writing. Just keep writing. Don't stop. Never stop creating your worlds, words, and the beauty and truth and love that you want to bring to the world. Or the horror. I have friends who write horror. So I just want to say love you all. Like, subscribe, and comment whatever you want to comment. And love you all. Ciao, Bellas.